Hey everybody, welcome to Tim's monthly real-time update number 5 for the end of April, the beginning of May. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to just update you on some stuff that's been going on this past month, and I'm going to do a drawing for the winner of this. We're improvising with a much smaller receptacle this time. Maybe you see your name in there somewhere, maybe not, but I'm going to draw one name at the end of this. So if I get too boring, just skip to the end and see if your name comes up. The things that have gone by in this past month. Part 2 of this epic interview with me went up at The Solo Performer, and that was kind of exciting. And I was working on my keynote address at the same time, so I've been doing like a lot of biographical study and reflection and stuff. We put up a new variation of the Man Cave audience reaction video. It's tightened down to just a single minute, and it has captions now for those people who you might not otherwise be able to understand what exactly they're saying as they're coming out from seeing Man Cave, and their reaction was really quite moving. This April 13th, I got my venue at the Minnesota Fringe Festival. It's the Mixed Blood Theater, which has about 200 seats. It's a really exciting space, and it's going to be a challenge to fill. So if any of you are in the Minnesota area, please come. I had a performance on the 16th of April at Green Bay West High School. It was kind of quiet, and I was a little concerned about how this stuff that usually gets big laughs was not going over so big, but the teachers then assured me that no, those kids, they were so into it that they spent 90 minutes kind of enthralled with the thing without needing to make noise, and so that was a thumbs up from them. We had the first living room performance in Lebanon, Indiana. Jim Lucas won that one, and he arranged for a performance at a tiny little theater in Lebanon, Indiana. We had about 25 people there. They had a blast. I had a blast. They were laughing at everything. They were inspiring me to new levels of innuendo and nuance that was really exciting. So that bodes well for the coming living room performances, I think. Then I moved from Indiana to West Virginia with a performance of Breakneck Julius Caesar at Glenville State University for an audience of just about a dozen people, I think. We made a nice little intimate thing out of it. I just encouraged them all to sit in the first couple of rows, and they did, and we had fun. So that was good. I made some money. On the 26th of April, I got news that my Shakespeare authorship play about Mary Sidney is under consideration for, and probably will be, performed as a reading with the Advice to the Players Theater in Sandwich, New Hampshire. They wrote to say they were interested in doing it. They had some thoughts about changes I might make, and so we're going to work together on continuing to grow that play. But we're looking at August 31st. Unfortunately, August 31st, I'm at the opposite end of the continent. I'll be performing at the Victoria Fringe Festival, but hopefully we'll be able to do some kind of Skype or recording that I can actually see how it goes. And then, what do we got? The last day of the month, a couple days ago, I performed at the Apopka Middle School. Cindy Sheridan had joined us, probably is joining us today and observing this. She won. She signed on to the Tim Mooney Rep Patreon page for just $1 a month. And she had an equal chance with people who were paying $15 a month, and she won. And she won for her students. She didn't tell her she couldn't afford to bring me in as a school, but I could bring it in essentially for free. And so I showed up, and she did not tell her students what they had coming. and they were surprised. They thought that this was going to be their after-school club time, where they were going to talk about their drama club and maybe do some rehearsing. And she said, "No, I won this performance, and you are going to see this guy I've been telling you about for all these years." And so they were very excited. They especially excited at Julius Caesar, when I did Mark Antony's Friends, Romans, Countrymen. They start out extremely quiet, because there's audience interaction. They have lines that appear on the screen behind them. And so anybody said the lines on the first round, but by the end, they're all screaming out, "Mutiny!" And so it was loads of fun. And I did record that, or I put it up on my Facebook page. If you want to check out that scene, it's about 45 minutes into the posting that I've got up on Facebook. Also going on, through the course of this month, since I had a significant amount of downtime, I did my quarterly email campaign, the spring email campaign for the Tim Mooney Rep, in which normally I've estimated that I send out anywhere from 12,000 to maybe 17,000 emails in the course of a given campaign. Well, with all of the environmental science and studies teachers that I've added, that is now up to over 20,000 emails. So, boy, is my lower back sore. But that's and there's that usually results in a few more bookings coming through. So it may cost me a little bit back-wise, but it helps. Also, what I'm going to be doing this coming year is I'm going to start adding more. What does this mean? Showcases for booking showcases to the schedule, so that I'm going to be spending a little more to try to get that out there. So the money you guys are supporting us with on Patreon is going to a very good cause, because hopefully it's going to get us in front of more schools. And that's the other point I meant to make about the show at Apopka, which is that if you are the winner of the drawing for one of these, but you don't know if you want to join because you don't know if you can actually host a show, you don't have a big enough living room, or you don't have access to a theater, you could give it away to a needy school so that they could have entertainment and art and classical theater and know a little more about Shakespeare and all that stuff. So just something to keep in mind. I'm recording this outdoors, by the way. I'm saying that now because I'm feeling a strong breeze going through, so I don't know how much that breeze is going to affect the microphone as you listen to this, but bear with me. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm in a beautiful place right on the river. We haven't had any boats go by quite yet, but they've got me in a nice cozy little billet here in Tampa, Florida, on the Hillsborough River. Otherwise, this month I did a lot of editing on the Asimov autobiography that I'm hoping to generate a performance out of at some point. I'm 50 chapters, 150 some pages into it, and it's about 20,000 words. So by the time I get done, I estimate I'm going to be somewhere around 75,000 words, or about 8 hours of performance time. So editing is my friend. Also editing, I've been editing the affirmations that I've been working with, inspired by the book Die Empty, and I'm going to be posting those as this month's bit o' work for you folks to enjoy or get inspired by. And the other thing we did was we submitted 2 grants this month for support. So we'll see how those come through. Politics is a nightmare these days. I'm a little concerned with, and I'm speaking as Timothy Mooney, not as the Timothy Mooney Repertory Theater, a not-for-profit organization, but I'm very concerned with the amount of kind of paranoia and hostility that is being bloviated over the airwaves these days, which is intended to intimidate opposition. Because certain things get said about certain people, and those certain people get death threats. And I think the people who say those given things know that those things result in death threats, and sometimes, as we know, those death threats are not threats but actual incidences. And so I think we need to treat free speech the same way we treat fire in a crowded theater. In this case, it's shouting fire in a racist theater. A few photos from this month gone by. Bland, Virginia, which I think is one of the most awesome names for a town, though the marketing vision of the town fathers simply doesn't seem to have been quite up to par. Photo arriving in Florida, and a photo of the great scene you see behind you here, which is the billet that I'm staying in Tampa. We'll see those go by. There's a plane going by overhead. So I'm going to take a pause here. So, the month to come. Tonight, I'm opening Man Cave, a one-man sci-fi climate change tragic comedy at the Tampa Fringe Festival. It's a late-night show tonight at 10:45. I may not actually have this posted online by 10:45, but before too long. Oh, there's a boat going by behind me, which you can see. Sorry about that. So I don't know a lot of people in Tampa. If you know people in Tampa, please send them my way. Then I've got a show coming up in Lakeland, Florida at the Rogue Stage on May 17th. Lakeland Live, I think, is the name of the venue. I'm at the Orlando Fringe Festival, May 14th through the 27th with Lot O Shakespeare. Come join me there at the Breakthrough Theater. I've got another living room show coming up in Cincinnati on May 30th. And we've got the 4th living room show happening during the Minnesota Fringe. That was won by Bree Dolliger. So that's the month ahead. As I said, this month's Some Piso work is Affirmations from Die Empty. This is all made possible because you guys have subscribed to me through Patreon. Thank you so much for signing on. You make it possible for me to go to these festivals to get publicity for this work, which helps me to build my portfolio and get work out to the schools, and helps with gas and hotels and all of the stuff that goes into that, and just the process of selling this material and making it present for students who seem to love it. So happy about that. All right, so what we've been waiting for this whole time. Before we go to the drawing, we have one new Patreon patron, Adrian Ricewerg. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, who came to see the show in Lebanon, Indiana, which went so really, really well. Also, Jim Lucas, who won the show in Lebanon, Indiana, has actually increased his membership level. You can do that too if you like. So that's we continue to expand and to grow. And here's our glass filled of names. Maybe you can see yours in there somewhere. But I'm just looking at the camera lens. I'm not looking at this thing. So I'm just going to isolate one piece of paper from the other pieces of paper and draw this out. And this is Jim Lucas, who has won already. Jim, I will give you the option of booking a second show since you have increased your Patreon patron level, or I'm going to make a second drawing. So that's a free one. That's a freebie for you, Jim. Maybe for you to give away if you want to. Or I'm going to pull another one. Wow. Taddy Callis. Taddy is in northwestern Illinois. I performed for her and her French students way back. It must have been about 2008, and she's been a constant supporter since then. She's a French teacher, and Taddy, you've got a freebie coming. So I'm trying to remember what the name of her school is. I want to say Augsburg, Augustine. Anyway, it's one of those out in towards the Quad Cities. So, Taddy, you're our winner this month. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. I have a great time visiting with you, and look forward to coming back at you in just another month. Fingers crossed for me. Please send people my way to come see these shows, because the more people I can get in during the summer, the more I can survive until the fall to come back and do it again for the schools. And I will see you on the road. Bye-bye.